Idea number 12. I know one of the caveats of Sean's instructions was not to make fun of the auto industry, and that's not what I'm doing with this. So it's a very subtle line between making fun of them and using them to comedic effect that's not embarrassing to them, but actually celebrates them in a way. Here's what it is. We all know that one of the reasons these apps are so popular and effective is because there is a perception, even if it's wrong, even if it's an old, outdated perception, that car dealerships and car salesmen are sleazy somehow. I don't think that's true. I'm sure no one listening think that's true, and but it is a perception. Just like everyone thinks, like lawyers or really aggressive, or doctors think they're God. Whatever. It's one of those things. So if really what this technology is about is how the dealerships are combining with an entity like Walmart with people like you who understand the automotive process so well, but combining that with technology, and if that's the convergence and value proposition here, then what one of the good ideas and funny ideas is to have basically, let's say in a break room, again, for guys that are clearly on the showroom floor, they're salesmen, and they're just sitting there, and there's an awkward silence in the beginning, and they have coffee, and one guy's basically like, there's a lot of apps now, to like help you buy a car, and they even mention some competition. Yeah, like one guy's like, yeah, cars.com, True Car, yeah, whatever, yeah. It's like, and then the next guy's like, well, it's weird. It's like everyone's like, knows what they're doing now. It's not, it's not as fun as it used to be, like the good old days or whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's not like that. And the third guy's like, it's like, yeah, like the buyer's like a lot more educated, and they, they make better deals, and we don't make as much money, and that kind of sucks. So it's like, it's just, and they get quiet, and there's a pause, and then all of a sudden one perks up and says, well, wait a second. So if the apps are what's making, if that's the new way to sell cars, and it's kind of the evolution of us, why don't we get together and make an app? And they all look like big-eyed, and they're like, that's a great idea. Who better than us to explain how to take advantage and get the best out of us? Like, in other words, it's like Larry David level. It's this idea of the salespeople making fun of the perceptive stereotype about them. They're not endorsing it. They're actually going against it by being like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to be the opposite of everything everyone thinks. We're going to help the customer get the best deal through this app. It's like what we're representing and branding this whole idea about is the idea that it's the difference between all these, and there's a lot of these I've learned in the last week, is that the distinction is this one is the inside lane, that it's not just statistic and technology to do metrics. It's about people with real experience in the industry almost giving secrets, and it's like the industry is giving back a certain percentage of kind of like a permanent discount to normalize the process, because really what keeps some of the market away is the intimidation and fear and inefficiencies of the purchase process. So that's it. So the idea is simply of showing the origin of this idea and maybe it's almost the truth. You guys are all car guys, but imagine having it in a room and just being like, the very thing that's replacing us, these apps, we're going to do one better and make our own app. And they get all excited and start talking about it, and then it's 30 seconds. So that's idea 12.